Hi, it's Brian here. As you know from the last video, I actually took a trip up London and did a Insta360 video session. Now, as predicted, I knew I was going to have a problem with the battery life because at this time I'm unable to go and buy a spare battery for the Insta360. So the inevitable happened and I ran out of battery. This footage that I'm using for this vlog here is from the GoPro on that day, so it's sort of an overview of what I was doing that day. I learnt a few things on this trip. One, although doing the 360 footage whilst I was walking along, you know, in these long distances like these through these tunnels here, it was using up my battery. But at the same time, sometimes it's interesting to do that sort of footage, you know, to give people a feel of the route you're taking and, you know, and the area that you're in. So it's a catch-22. As far as people staring at me goes, up in London it was a lot easier to do the recording because nearly everyone else was recording with their phones and stuff anyway. I was getting a lot of looks at the camera because I was like the only one up there with a big pole and a little camera on the top. So yeah, that was getting a lot of interest. And overall the footage came out really well. I did touch the colours up a little bit in post. What else? Yeah, I started off using with the Insta360 selfie stick, you know, the invisible one that's supposed to go invisible, and it worked actually great this time. It didn't keep collapsing on me. It was okay, but later on in the walk, I changed over to my longer selfie stick because it still remained invisible, but it was longer, but it was a little bit heavier. So, but it, you know, it gave me a bit extra reach when I was hanging out over the edge of bridges. That's in the one I'm using at the start here is the Insta360 one. So I'd probably revert to using the longer stick just because it gives you that extra and it's a little bit sturdier. It doesn't wobble as much. So yeah. Now as far as the audio went on this day, the audio from the Insta360 was awful. Really quite unusable really because of the wind. So unless you're indoors, use external audio if you can, and that's what I did. I cut a lot of that footage out because some of it I didn't have external audio, but the footage I did use, I used external audio because I had my recorder with me, luckily, and that sort of saved the day as far as the audio goes. Because audio, I think, is just as important as the footage, if not more important, to try and have clear audio. There was a part in the footage where I didn't have quite clear audio, but you live and learn. I'm always going to use an external audio now with the Insta360, so I learned that. Also, I wish I took not a tripod, but something to stand the pole on, so I don't have to keep walking so much. I did a lot of walking this day, and it would have been nice to just put the camera there and then do some time lapses. And I wish I did that. So I have to make a to-do list of time lapse. It would be one of them, and for that, the camera would need to be on a tripod, preferably, or on a stand of some sort. So that was another thing I learned. Also, I wish I did a lot more ground shots where putting the camera down really low, just to get some different angles. But because it was so busy there anyway, it would have been quite dangerous for me to put that pole right down to the floor and walk along. As you can see in the actual video, it was a really busy day. If you're an extreme introvert like me and you have social anxiety like me, it wasn't as bad as you'd think going up into a busy area like that, because everyone's sort of kept to themselves, and left you alone pretty much. And walking around with that big pole, you sort of blended in a little bit, although I did get a lot of looks, but they sort of knew what you were there for, because you're in a touristy area, if you know what I mean. So you sort of blend in, and I pretty much got left alone to do my own thing. So in that respect, it was quite good. When I did that shoot in Barnet, it was a little bit different, because it's not really a touristy area, and I was getting a lot of funny looks there. But the only reason I had my GoPro on here is because I was thinking about using some of the footage mixed in with my 360 footage, but it would have been too long. I was having a chat with that lady there in the actual GoPro footage. It would have been too long, so I thought I'd use it, you know, for my vlog video, because obviously I like vlogging and I like blogging as well. And I learned a lot of stuff from this trip. Like, one, with the external audio is really important. Two, you need a spare battery for that Insta360, even though it's not available at the moment. It's ridiculous that you can't get a spare battery. I mean, if you were climbing Mount Everest with one battery, wouldn't that be just stupid? So you do that. I don't know. It's just crazy. You need more. You need spare batteries. I was using one SIM card in there, memory card. I mean, it lasted the whole thing, even though it ran out of battery anyway. So that was good, and it was only a 64 gigabyte battery memory card, so it did really well. I have got a 128 somewhere, but I think I've lost it. Yeah, what else did I learn? I'm just trying to think what else I sort of picked up on that trip. Other than the audio was really a lifesaver, the external audio, that was the main thing I think. And I need something to put the pole on and get some hyperlapses, because that would have been really cool. And I think that's the key really, is to plan your shoot, and tick the boxes, because I went up there not really thinking about what I was going to do. And I wish I planned it a bit better, with, you know, and thinking, hang on a minute, I'm going to want some hyperlapses, you know, and that make that part of my workflow, because then I would have had the tools available there to do it. And to be honest, when I was up there, I didn't even think about it. It never even entered my head to do a time lapse sort of shoot. So that's a good lesson learned. Plan the shoot. You know what you want to include in your footage. So that was good. So I learned a few things. So hopefully I'll get better when I do these videos. So yeah, I noticed that on the actual video after post that the so I'm just pausing here because I've just noticed some of these clips are in the wrong order. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, so I did notice that the footage from the Insta360, when I was walking in the shady area and it was pointing out over the Thames, it was really blown out over there. Blown out as in white. It didn't handle it very well. But then again, on the GoPro, it's almost doing the same thing. It's sort of blowing out because I'm walking in shady area, and it sort of blows out when you're looking out over the water area where it's sunny. So that might be just a thing with these cameras. So I can't just blame Insta360 for that. I think the GoPro was doing it a bit as well. So overall, the Insta360 was really good. It's just that battery let me down, and the audio, luckily I had external audio going. So that's the main things I learned from this adventure. Yeah, external audio, a tripod stand of some kind, and to plan the shoot with what I want to include in the shoot, or make it part of the workflow sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because we're trying to grow it up and build a community around it. It'd be great if we can get, you know, the first milestone of 100 users, viewers, because then I can brand the YouTube channel, and it will also encourage me to get out and do more videos as well. Gets me out of my room, instead of hibernating in my room all the time. So it's a really good hobby, and it's a lot of fun, you know, a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. I'll talk again soon. Take care.